last year I decided to get out the Air Force because I figured not having the stress of the military and just being back home would make me feel better. So I got out, started a podcast,
Hey.
started working, and actually, I mean, the podcast, like, I wanted to do it. I've been telling you I wanted to do a podcast on my own for a little bit, a couple years back, and then you had your wrestling podcast, and I was telling you,
something
like,
that we talked about.
yeah. And when I first decided, like, yo, we should really do this, it was really just because I was in a bad place, and the thought of, like, kicking it with my homies at least once a week sounded good. You know, that's kind of where it started from, you know.
Yeah.
And it's blown up to, you know, what it is now, and we're trying to continue to make it blow, but pause. So got out, and when I got out of the Air Force, and this is like full fucking, I'm just putting all my shit out there, I guess. When I got out of the Air Force, I was diagnosed with a mood disorder and depression, right? But I knew there was something else up because I would get nightmares, flashbacks, anxiety, not wanting to be around people, not wanting to be in crowds. Certain things triggered things for me, you know? So I was working a regular ass job up until February when shit got bad. I reached out to the VA, and I was told that it would be a 2-month waiting period before I could even get an appointment to see a therapist, or get the chance to make an appointment. So who knows how long it would have been. So one night, I was up all night. I also have insomnia, and I just couldn't sleep. My head just was in a fucked up place, and I had an appointment, a virtual appointment that day, or the following morning. So I was like, I'm just gonna make it to this appointment. So I get my laptop, and it was with my, like, just primary care doctor.
Yeah.
Open it up, and, like, I was like, I'm gonna tell her I'm fucked up. I need help right now. And so I opened up the laptop. So I made the appointment. Was talking to her. I was like, yo, I need help right now. And she was like, okay, we'll have someone from mental health call you. And I kind of just took that as, like, I'm telling this doctor, like, I fucking need help right now. And she's just going, like, okay, we'll have someone call you.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I was getting blown off again, and kind of spiraled a little bit. Ended up in the emergency room. Ended up in an inpatient for 6 days here at Tripler. And then they sent me to San Antonio. San Antonio was probably the best I felt since before 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it's kind of the reason is kind of like what you were saying earlier. Like, I was in a PTSD treatment center. It was a 28-day long program. I ended up staying there for 31 days. It was all people. I was the only veteran, and it was all people who were still active duty from all the branches. And for the first time since I started feeling my symptoms in 2016, for the first time in my life, like, I could just fucking be. Like I didn't have to pretend to be okay for my kids. I didn't have to pretend to be okay for any of my loved ones. I didn't, like, if I woke up and I felt fucked up, someone's like, hey, how you feeling? I feel like shit.
Yeah. No more masking.
Yeah. Like, all right, man, well, if you want to talk, then hit me up. All right, cool. You know, like, it was nice to just be whatever fucked up version of me whenever I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I got diagnosed with PTSD when I was in the inpatient at Tripler. So before I went to that program, which makes sense that I think it makes sense of why I've been going to therapy since 2016 and not feeling any better. Because, you know, I was getting treated for depression, or I was getting treated for, like, basically a lesser thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made, like, it allowed me to be functional, but didn't allow me to heal.
Yeah.
You know, and what's crazy is that I learned what PTSD was there. And like prior to that, like if someone would have asked me what PTSD was, I would have described my my symptoms, or just been like, I don't know, man, I'm just fucked up. But like they explained it in a way that was like made so much fucking sense. Like it was like, oh shit, okay, so this is and like I don't remember the terms and shit, but this one dude that I was there with, shout out to Rob, he explained it like he reset it in a way that made a lot of sense.
Okay.
So like PTSD is like, so like you have a part of your brain that processes events, and then once it gets processed, it turns into a memory.
Okay.
So when you experience a trauma or something really fucked up, your brain sometimes has a hard time processing it, so it doesn't. So he was explaining it he was like, it's like a file. So like your brain takes these files and it stores it on the hard drive as a memory. Well, that fucked up event is like a corrupted file, so it can't get stored. So your brain is constantly in this like, oh, this shit is still happening because it's not a memory.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? So like when if I'm in a grocery store and I feel anxious and shit, like it's because my brain is like, oh shit, we're still in 2011 getting attacked. You know what I'm saying? Like and it particularly made sense because I used to feel bad about being at like, yo, them cats is getting it.
Yo, facts.
I used to feel bad about birthdays for my kids. Like I'm like we're doing a birthday party for my kids and I just don't feel happy. I know I should be happy, and that's the worst, when you know you should be happy but you don't feel happy. And like it made sense because in my head I wasn't in that birthday party. You know, in my head I'm worried about all these other things that aren't processed, you know, because I feel like it's still happening.
Yeah.
There was one Christmas Eve, because we have a Christmas tradition of making cookies on Christmas Eve. There's one Christmas Eve, I was up in the room while everyone was downstairs making cookies. Like I couldn't bring myself downstairs to fucking make cookies with my kids, man. It kills me, man. You know. And one thing I realized while I was there that like really fucked me up thinking about was that all this shit started in 2016. Lily was born in 2016. You know, Lily has not seen me other than in this shape.
Fuck,
you know what I'm saying?